For me, it's kind of fairly easy. Like what I'm focusing on now is how to start buying other pieces of equipment to help our presentation look better. Because like it's cool what we're doing now, but now that we're here, it's time to start investing, and I got to start investing in making this look better because it's not only about you looking good. I need to look good and the best that I can at least while I'm here. So I might as well start investing in some of this equipment so that I can present myself better off. And, you know, I went and got me another, I fixed my other phone. So I have a backup phone at any time. So next time something goes wrong, I don't have to worry about, oh my God, I can't be on or I got to get on Facebook. I'll just uh, call Metro, hook up my phone, and then use the second phone.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And, I'm looking at, I know I'm not gonna go and buy every like a NBC studio equipment set and put it up here, but I need to put some more lights facing me so that I can be more in the camera. They can see me better at that point. And like you said to me, and I know you think I don't listen to you, but I got to go probably get me a desktop Apple computer, even if it's a refurbished one. I have to get one so that I can have the processing power to actually do the stuff I want to get done. And
Yeah.
all of that is in due time, and when the money is kind of flowing like it's supposed to.
Like it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but it's all happening. It's all happening. It's moving. I just had a friend right now. I talked to him to go back to writing raps, and
Hmm.
he was like, I didn't. I thought, I was too old to do this and everything. I said, God never takes your blessing away. You
Right.
may not use
Put it
it
on the
anymore,
table and
but God
stay
don't.
on the table. Right.
That's right. Well,
Not,
I like that concept. You said
not
put it on the table.
you can put it on the table, leave it on the table. You don't want it, look, it's gonna be right there where I put it. Okay.
Yeah, it's funny because when I was telling that, he was like, I'm glad you encouraged me because I thought I was, getting too old and the raps might sound this. I said, well, all you got to do is pay attention to the Bible. Look what happened to Samson. He said, what you mean? I said, listen, the only thing that happened to Samson when he was blind was that he grew his hair. When he grew his hair, his muscles came back. He was like, you know what? I never thought about it like that. I said, nobody ever does. That's why when God gives you a gift, you think you lose your gift. No, you keep your gift forever. God ain't no Indian giver. He ain't like you.
Oh, I was gonna say, I just heard that. That's what I heard when you were in church.
Yeah,
Okay, I was like, I just heard that. Okay,
yeah.
I know I'm not losing
Oh, so you remember hearing it.
it. Look, I am hearing and living the word. I am in the word. Okay.
Well, listen, the fact that you even remember what I said, that means that the messenger got to be blessed.
The messenger. I think the messenger is blessed. And
I know. I got you. I got to be blessed. I got you. Shit. Do you
oh,
know how many people have came and gone and I'm still here?
okay, you got to keep your language impeccable. Now, I'm not. I gotta find out, get a list of which curse words we can do and which ones we can't.
Well,
which ones?
I remember we talked about this last year. I think and I've been doing it, and I thought you was doing it too because you snuck some stuff on me. We were going to use different kind of vocabulary words, and you've been
Okay.
sneaking a couple of them on me.
Okay. Well, since we gonna do this, is gonna be our extended. This gonna be a tapping after dark. Okay. Now you were supposed to be testing me. So do you remember any of the words?
Of what?
The words. Let's give me some vocabulary words. Or you want me to give you some vocabulary word? I've been hearing people say this a lot. Satiate. What is the meaning of the word satiate? Or use satiate in the sentence.
You're satisfied.
Okay, okay,
After eating that steak, I felt satiated.
okay. Oh, see, I
Oh
see
yeah,
how you
that's the easy word.
tried to shape the word in the head like this when you said it. What about
Oh,
explicatory?
listen,
Explicatory.
explicatory. I don't even think you're saying the right word. I think you faking. I'm sorry. I think, ma'am, I call BS on that.
Like we playing Scrabble. Like you don't think that's a real word? Explicatory?
No, that ain't. I don't think that the word is
What is it?
explicatory. I don't think so.
EXPLIC. What? I E. Wait, wait.
Ma'am, pull
That's
over, ma'am, pull
I
over,
found
ma'am.
explicitly. I didn't find no explicatory.
Explicity, yeah, explicity, yes, but explicatory, man, pull
Well,
over. You're
according
speeding, man.
to Google, it says explicatory is not a standard English word, but it's likely a blend of explicit and explanatory. Explicatory, serving to explain or make clear. So it's honestly, I'm a creative. I'm a creative kind of person because
even
that's good. I was
Even Google
look
call you out on your
because
stuff.
I'm
Google called you
explicatory.
out.
Because I'm explicatory.
Google,
I'm explicit and explanatory. That's me.
nah,
That's
Google
it's
called you
me.
out. Nah,
No,
nah.
it's like I'm gonna put it on a t-shirt. You're not hurting my feelings. I'm gonna put it
Nah,
on a t-shirt.
nah, Nikki,
Explicatory.
nah,
I'm explicatory.
Nikki.
I don't care what you say.
Even Google called you out. Google
No,
said,
no, no,
"Girl, you is
no,
tripping.
no, no.
You is
I'm
tripping.
explicatory.
Where you get this hood language? What you doing now? What? You just saw Bats 3? Where you coming from with
No,
that?
no, 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 no. Okay, okay,
Ooh,
all right. You give me some words then because I think I speak. I'm trilingual. Okay, I speak this, that, and the other. Right.
yeah. You try anything legal. You
So sometimes
trilingual.
I
Yeah.
get my words mixed up. Okay, so will you test me with the Queen's English? I'm ready for you. Come on, let's see what we got.
All right. Use the word fraught in a sentence.
Okay, well, I think it could be used a couple different ways, but
I
shoot,
didn't ask you all that. I just need one thing. I don't need no long explanation. Get to it.
she was fraught with heat.
Oh, nice. Nice. That's nice. I wasn't seeing that coming, but that was nice. That was nice. Um, let's use the word deem.
Deem, I deem you.
Deem. DEEM.
That's what I was saying. Okay. I deem I deem Curry the beneficiary of my estate after I'm dead, after I die, and after
Okay,
y'all.
you know I'm right here, right? You know I'm right here, right?
You want to be the beneficiary of my estate? Okay.
You see how you do me? That's all right. That's all right.
I deem that behavior unacceptable. I deem that
Yes, good. That's good. That's good.
just
That's good. Now you talking. See, now I knew you ought to get you back. You my girl. You get back. You just need a little get warmed up sometimes. You just need to get warmed up sometimes.
oh
See.
yes. Okay, well
How
I
about use the word can? Hold on. I ain't done yet. Shoot, you
okay
still practicing. I
okay.
don't
You
know
use
why.
words. I see
All
it.
right. Let's say. Let me pull out. Give me. Mm, I want to get you a good word that people don't use often. Gaff. Gaff.
Yes.
Yeah, GAFFE. Gaff.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to Google that.
Ah. All right. Well then, we'll
Okay.
come back to that.
Okay. I
Oh,
was telling a joke, but since my boss had walked into the room just as it unfurled, I realized it was a gaff.
yes. 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 Gaff. Mistake. A mistake.
That's them hard or antiquated words. Yeah. Came straight
I
out of
told
coffee.
you.
You over there, you got an old Shakespearean book. You over there pulling all the words from Shakespeare and trying to
I
see how my ebonic talking self can answer that. That's
I
funny.
told you last year this is what I was going to start practicing on because I got my vocabulary working, but I wanted to use some of these old terms that
Okay,
we don't hear no more.
you promised me you were gonna play questions with me. We got 3 people watching us. Well, you promised me you were gonna play questions with me. You remember how to play questions?
I think I remember.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the rules. I always tell people this is the rules how to win, not the rules how to lose, because I care about you. So the rules how to win. It's only 2 things you got to do to win, and that's one, ask the question. The other is save my name. So you say save my name and ask the question. As long as you do those 2 things, you can't lose. If you do
Say
anything
my
else,
name. What you mean? Is this the Destiny's Child? What you mean?
say my name. Yeah, it can be kind of, but that's how the game goes. You got to say my name. Don't get confused and call somebody else's name. And you have to ask a question. So don't get confused and answer the question. So as long as you say my name and answer the question, you can win. You want to try?
Oh, so okay, so we're now trying to do questions now, huh?
I mean, it's
The
real quick.
vocabulary got a little
Since
intense. I got you.
okay, since you asking me, okay. So when I start the game, I'm gonna say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm gonna incorporate the question, the words into questions. How about that?
Go ahead, player. Go ahead, player.
Okay. So you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So I'm gonna start it off. I'm gonna start with telling a story. So one day I was walking down the street, and I was like, I was going on the sidewalk, and I was saw this big thing laying out in the road. And I'm like, well, what is that? And I was like, Rich, can you use the word clept in a sentence? CLEPT. Can you use that word in a sentence?
Nikki, what does the word clet mean?
Rich, if I told you what it meant, then would I be using it properly?
Nikki, if you use the word clet improperly, how would I know?
Rich, if I told you that the word clept means how you call a thing, would you believe me or would you think I was making it up?
Nikki, even if you told me what clet meant, I don't. Do you think I would still be able to use it properly?
Rich, maybe I should give you an easier word. Can you use the word psych in a sentence?
Nikki, I don't even think I heard what was the word you just said. Can you tell me what was the word that you just said?
Rich, psych, like SIKE. You know what that is?
Nikki, do you mean like psych your mind, your booty shine?
Rich, are you asking me about booty shine? Or we talking about the old phrase that we used to use when we were kids?
Nikki, I think what I'm asking you is do you even know what the word psych means?
Rich, didn't I ask you?
Nikki, does that mean I still understand if you know it or not?
Rich, you trying to win this game? Or you ready to lose?
Nikki, I'm not sure what you mean about losing. Do you know
Rich,
what losing means in this game?
can you use the word betwixt in a sentence?
Nikki, what does betwixt mean?
Rich, can you spell betwixt?
Nikki, do you think that I know what the word even means?
Rich, hark. Can you tell me what hark means?
Nikki, are you saying heart or heart?
with a K. Rich, do you know what heart with a K means versus heart with the heart pumping in your chest? Heart with a K. Have you ever heard of heart with a heart with a K?
Well, Nikki, have you ever seen the show Heart to Heart?
Rich, was there a show called Heart to Heart?
Nikki, have you ever played Kung Fu?
Rich, did you just make that up?
Nikki, do you think that if I just made it up, I would tell you?
Rich, I know you would not. Okay, I'm gonna change to another. Rich, I'm gonna let you talk by yourself. Oh,
Huh?
can you use the word ire in a sentence?
Nikki, do you feel my ire at this time?
Rich, should I feel your ire at this time?
Nikki, would you rather feel my ire or my fire?
Rich, how are they different?
Nikki, do you think that fire and ire are the same?
Rich, one only has an F. Does that make it worse than the other
Well, Nikki, would you like to F?
one? Rich, you gonna lose this game called Questions Are You Not?
Nikki, I don't even know that we were playing. Is that what we're doing now?
Rich, do you want me to keep playing with you or not?
Nikki, why would you stop playing with me?
Rich, can you use the word fudgel in a sentence? Fudgel.
Nikki, what in the world does fungel mean?
Imagine if I told you a fudgel means pretending to work. Could you relate with that? Fudgel.
Nikki, do you understand? I'm still trying to figure out what the heck you saying?
Rich, I know you want to know what I'm saying, but it's Fudgel, fudgel. Have you ever heard anything like that before?
Nikki, do you think that if I had even imagined what the word fungel is, that I would be trying to figure out what it is now?
Rich, how about a groke? Do you know what a groke is?
Nikki, I'm not even sure that I'm hearing you say the word growth or growth. Which one is it?
Rich, I said groke, like broke with a G. Groke. Can you hear me?
Oh, Nikki, I think you're saying that you want me to. Are you saying to me the word is grope, as in something that you're supposed to put your hands on?
Rich, I think you are hearing the words that you want to hear coming out of my mouth. So I am going to give you something easier. Let's see. We can't fudgel. You can't grope, which means to stare at someone eating in hopes that they will share. So since they did not work, that did not work. Would you like to? Would you
So,
like?
ma'am, are you saying? So, ma'am, are you saying to me right now that I should be liking the words coming out of your mouth?
Rich, do you not like the words that are coming out of my
Ma'am? Ma'am,
Which
I'm not
starts off
sure I
with ma'am.
understand the
We
words.
start off with ma'am. You know it's about to be bad right after that, especially when you do real bad.
Nikki, are you saying that only thing I can say are bad things?
Rich, didn't we just read the fifth agreement? I do not agree with that whatsoever. All you can say is good things. So, is there something Rich, is there something you would like to say?
Nikki, do you think that I would say something on this phone call right now where I might be recorded and be held against me later on?
Rich, you are definitely being recorded right now, and you're probably always being recorded. So always be careful. To all those people out there that are watching and listening, always be impeccable with your words, and that way you will never have to be saying "I'm sorry" on the evening news, right? Okay, so
Nikki, I take that that's a question, or that was not a question. That was a statement.
okay, that's a sidebar. Okay. If
Oh,
y'all
okay,
want to.
okay. That's sidebar.
So what I'm realizing is, okay, so I was trying something different with my camera to see if we can do a little better, but the way it's set up, it looks like I'm looking down the whole time. So I do something
Oh, okay.
because I like to type and do stuff. So I'm gonna have to find a way to work it out. We got one person watching. If y'all want to put it in the chat, tell me who's watching. So we've been thinking about doing a tapping after dark, and that would be. I'm thinking that that would be the subscription where we can talk about more in-depth topics, relationships. We talk about relationships a lot, but we don't really talk
Yeah.
about much on tap in, but talk about relationships. And one of the most important things that happens in relationships is intimacy sometimes, right? Um, and communication. So what all that means. Sue Ann, you still out there, girl? She out there. She out there watching us, Rich. We over
All
here
right, Suan.
trying out new cameras and seeing if it works better. Because Rich told me I got frozen with my mouth was wide open, so we're trying to do better. Thinking about doing a Suan is creating a lot of content, Rich. When you get time and anybody else watching, y'all go out. But Suan, you gotta post now. You gotta start posting more regularly. See, I be watching you, and if I'm watching you, I know other people watching you. So but she's kind of like me, testing out, just got her personal stuff going on, but she's doing some content creation that's looking good. So keep it up. Keep up the good work.
Way to go, Suan. Get it on out there.
I love that, I belong to a couple of groups, and some of them are men and women, but they just, for whatever reason, happen to be mostly women. But some women out here really tearing it up as far as content creation right now. And I'm like, this technology kind of came on us so fast that I feel like people are learning so fast. And I don't know what next year gonna look like, because just in this past year where we got I started with Chat GPT maybe not even a whole year ago. And just to see how much productivity and advancement there's been just in this year, I can't imagine what the next 2 years gonna look like. So I hope that you're all out there learning, trying to figure out ways to be productive and make some money, leave a legacy for your children, your grandchildren, your great grand somebody, but figuring out not just to use these things for fun and games, but have fun by all means, but make sure you get some productivity out of it. But yeah, go out there and check out her page, and Sue Ann, you keep posting stuff so we can keep sharing you. And she is also, yeah, I think she's also in the BX Next group, which is a budding little group. But I'm hoping that that group becomes, again, our kind of community. People just kind of talking about self improvement, just trying to do better, right? And I hope that it just becomes a kind of cooperative support system for mainly artists and business people who can use artists in their life. So that's all we're doing here. And so I want to maybe we'll start talking about tapping after dark. Maybe we can do a different day, but I definitely want to get into the relationship stuff, right? Because that's always of interest, right? Whether that's our current relationships or desired relationships, undesired relationships. You look like you're in deep thought.
Well, I like the concept. I like the title. I like all of that. And you know, when I think of relationships, I've watched a lot of these relationship shows, and a lot of them are carbon copy of each other. And so you have one side, men think one way, other side, women think one way, and the twain has not been able to meet. But I think now with the reality, I think because the country's having a culture shock, I think now people are starting to look at each other's side and start saying, "Hey, there are places here we need to agree upon because it's more important than just our preference. Now we got to talk about our survival."
Yeah.
And it seems that survival makes people have clarity of thought, and I think we're heading in that direction. So now's a good time for us to be like, okay, yeah, I know we were talking all this here, and you were talking all this there, but how are we going to make it together? Because we're definitely not going to make it apart.
Yeah. I agree. For me, it's a little boring to watch all the woman, the woman hating men and the man hating women, but at the same time they're trying to be in a relationship together, and it really just makes my head hurt. Really, I'm like, what you bringing to the table, and you high value this, and you high value that, and like, who gets to measure somebody's value? So to me, it's just a lot of jargon, just a lot of, it's trending. It has trended. I'm hoping the trend is fading away, but also I just see a lot of hate across the board. I would love to see men and women just, I don't know, be on one accord. Like I said, maybe that's an agreement. Like I said, that a lot of people bought into long time ago, that women and men, and maybe it's just certain communities. I don't know, at odds, or think each other are not enough. I don't know if that's a cultural thing. I don't know, but I don't care for it. It's for me, it goes against what's natural, and it goes against family structure, and it goes against building strong communities and society. So I feel like whatever we got to do, we got to figure out a way to put our weapons down, you know, put a bridle on the tongue, for the sake of building a legacy. How can you build legacies when you can't even have basic relationships? And so I see these people bickering about where they can have dinner at, where somebody could take them to dinner to. If you have a standard about what place you can eat dinner, that's fine. But just the fact that it's just a whole conversation seems a little superficial. Which then it does
Well,
break you and make you don't look like you any kind of value.
well, well, when I look at these kind of things, and I've had some very, very deep dives in these kind of situations, and I always look at it, what is causing the division? Where did the division? When did we get the first crack in the wall? And once you start going back and you realize that most of the times we're getting influenced by outside forces that are depositing thought processes in our mind that we follow, and then we end up with, well, the term is social engineering. We're getting social engineered out of our family structures. And once
Mm-hmm.
that happens, then it's easier for those people to then control us because they've separated us.
Oh,
But
where
every time we've
I
been
put my horn
successful,
in. Yes, I feel you. And I turned my horn off because we had finished the first tap in. I didn't know we was gonna go this deep, but yeah, I'm feeling you. And
but
Suzanne
but
said something to this matter. I'm gonna let you finish it, but she said too much technology. We have to get back to one-on-one real relationships. But I think that connects to where you're going, and you can correct me. But like you said, this social engineering, this virtual world is beneficial for other people, for us to be
yeah,
fighting agreeable. Like I said, because divided we fall, right? But if you got a whole family or a strong couple, you be unstoppable, right? But it's beneficial for some people for you to be singular, because the Bible say one is easily broken, two is more difficult, and three is unbreakable, right? So the more that we agree, the more dangerous, in a sense, more threatening we are. Even if that's love, that means love. The more we love each other, we're a threat to somebody, right? And I heard that too recently. Somebody said, you know, people in couples tend to have more money. They make more. I mean, they
Yes,
inspire each other.
yes.
You know, they make goals together. At least, I mean, even though some people cheat on it, but they make agreements to say, hey, we're gonna save this money here for this trip or for these goals, or we're gonna invest this way. But you feel inspired. You have somebody to do it for. But when you're single, you be like, well, shoot, it's just me. Who cares? The same thing with your health, your money. We tend to do better in relationships. So I'm about that life. I think we should start matchmaking people.
I don't know if I want to do the matchmaking part right there. I think we that might be out of my depth. But what I do want to do is have conversation with men and women because all you have to do, first of all, anything that I'm going to say to anybody, they've heard it a million times. They just didn't accept it. I may say it a different way and it becomes more palatable for them, but it's going to be the same thing. The problem I have is every time we've been successful as a collective group of people, we've had strong family ties. We had rites of passages for our children to prepare them for adulthood, and we maintain taking care of our elders always. History shows you over and over and over again, and I hear people always cry out, "Yeah, we had Tulsa, we had Rosewood, we had North Carolina," but nobody remembers those actual structures. And I think that's the one of the crazy things that happen a lot. I hear you talk about Tulsa, but you don't talk about the family structure of those people in Tulsa that made them successful. In the middle of the United States, they were having contracts internationally.
Yeah.
They had people had planes in their backyards. Okay, how did they do that? What was the structure? What were
Right.
they teaching their children?
What was the daily life like? What was the discipline like?
Yes,
It got them
yes.
have that trend of success.
Come on now, talk now. That's what I'm saying. But I hear, and it's almost like Nikki. Sometimes I think that these people are programmed because they all say the same thing, but I don't hear them saying anything deep. They
Mm,
act like what they're saying is deep, but it has no substance and you can't follow it. I
right.
need you to tell me what were those people doing? Okay, so those people had their own cities and they were doing well. Well, now if you tell me you had your own city, then you're telling me you had your own schools. If you had your own hospitals, you had your own barbershop. How were you treating the people that look like you in your community?
Mm. But I think this is a great time because, like you said, they be trying to talk like they deep, whether it's about money, family, relationships, but you've heard it all before, and it's all pretty boring. It sounds scripted. You already know where it's gonna end up at, right? When you can hear when it start, what's the point that's about to be made, right? If you do this, and blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. But this is a great time to break the script, I think, in history, right? Where we are in this
Yep,
information age, just like you and I are here, like you were talking about getting new equipment, you don't need all of that. You just need a little bit, right? And now
that's
it's
right.
a great time to break the script and be your authentic you. And I'm hoping, even though we got to deal with the technology, Sue Ann, I'm hoping that through the technology, I just been saying people on the other side of the computer, there's a real person, and we haven't been able to, like I said, I was in maybe the last 5, 10 years, I too was like, boy, I wish the old days, and Rich, we talk about, I wish the old days would come back when I could go out to a place and have a good conversation with a stranger, right? Or go out to a place and have a real dance, like a dance, like not like we dance, we line dance now, but used to can dance, right? And social was a
Yeah,
lot different, but social has changed and been reduced and restricted for quite some time, and just it probably took its final steps during the time of COVID. So where we are now is people feel very comfortable saying whatever they want. Somebody today on online trying to ask me if I ever thought about making money off my feet. I'm like, are you serious? But get off my whatever you want to DM, right? Get out of here. Right? Block. But but people don't know how to be human anymore. And so that's a problem with relationships, whether married, dating. It's just all across the board. We forget we're not engaging, and we don't have the intimacy that once. I mean, I think that it's there. I think it's, but it seems to be diminishing. And even in friendships, it's
Well,
diminishing.
what's happening is we're becoming a different kind of people,
Mm-hmm.
and we're becoming more like the people that are dominating our thought process, our airwaves, our radio waves, and we're acting more like that and less of who we are.
Yeah.
And that becomes a very dangerous place to be because if we start to lose ourselves in materialistic endeavors and we don't pay attention to the spiritual side of it, then, capitalism without soul is what happens when you pollute a river to the point where the fish are glowing. You're like, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
Where you have the animals start attacking you from the banks that normally don't attack. You're like, what happened? You have fake fish killing real fish in the lakes. You're like, what the hell? So I
Fake
don't
fish
know. I just,
mean the engineer, but I mean it's the same thing happening with humans. You have,
yeah,
you have domesticated and engineered people. I mean mentally, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
and morally attacking people who are really trying to maintain and live um real, I want to say moral or as wholesome, human lives. And so you get attacked or, discredited for being authentic. But look, I want to stay an activist on stay human. Technology is going to continue to grow, but I want to make sure we stay as human as possible while in this technological world. um Keep our soul. Don't sell your soul, right? Don't sell out. Don't become one of these people that's attacking people, bullying people. Don't forget what your mom and your dad, you don't forget what your grandparents told you, your good common sense that you were born with. And so I just.
well, see, but here's where I think this is where there's a space for us right there
Mhm.
because I think from my generation, if you were born in the 60s, I think that's the last generation that really got hard training from their adults.
Hmm.
Like, I think my generation was the last generation where, people in the neighborhood could spank you and then tell your mama that you was out there throwing rocks at Mrs. Jenkins' house.
Well,
But the generations afterwards, I
yeah.
don't think they have that same discipline. I don't think they had the Buds of Springs or Men of Tomorrow
Yeah,
or
they
any types
still
of,
got all of that.
huh?
You consider yourself Gen X?
Am I Gen X or am I a millennial? I'm not sure.
You definitely not a millennial. You either
All
Gen X
right.
or a baby boomer.
Maybe I might be a baby boomer.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that might be where I'm at. But so, and I'm not saying that these things have disappeared off the face of the planet. I'm just saying that the majority of us aren't following because somebody did something. They were showing pictures of people back in the 1950s, black people,
Mm-hmm.
and at that time we were basically outpacing all the other races in the United States of America financially, from an educational standpoint, socially, we were just on point. But when you look at those pictures of those people, they was clean. They was on point.
Yeah.
They look and they all were in shape. You didn't see obesity was not a thing.
Right.
But when you fast forward to the 70s, just 20 years later, it's out of control. And
Yeah.
it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And now we're here where you got BBLs, and I was having a conversation with who was I talking to yesterday? I was talking to my homeboy, and I was like, okay, so Nikki, we're having a conversation, and you say to me, Rich, do you like me with my long hair? Now I
Mm-hmm.
know the hair is fake.
Mm-hmm.
I know the hair is fake, but you say, do you
Not my
like this
hair.
long? And I say, no, I'm not talking about you, sweetie. I'm just making an example here. But I say, no, I like your regular natural hair.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next 6 days out of the week, you wear a wig.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when a man is looking at you like, wait a minute, you just asked me what I like. I told you what I like. And instead of giving me 6 days of natural and one day of you, feeling yourself and putting your wig on, you gave me 6 days of your wig and only one day of what I like. Why did you even ask me?
Well, then that's very revealing, and I think that's something that's very common. We hear with women, but women ask the question because they kind of taken a survey, and they didn't just ask you, right? So it's very telling that their motivation is not you. It's a
That's right.
collection of it's a poll, right? It's a poll question because they're gonna ask their mama, their best friend, they gonna look in the mirror. They gonna ask everything that they can. What you think about this here? Because she likes it, right? Because she wouldn't have bought it if
She
she.
likes it. Yes.
But everybody else could convince her to not like it no more, right? If the right person say, that just look horrible. Look like you growing hay out of your head. I bet you don't wear it again, right? Because unfortunately, as women, we have been so most of us we have been socialized to that it's a virtue to be concerned to respect the people around us, right? It's permissible for men and even encouraged for a man to stand his ground and state his position and for what is best for him. But as women, we are socialized to be accommodating, to be giving, to be nurturing. And so unfortunately it leaves a lot of women very confused. And at the end, it still doesn't benefit men because, like as you said, then men be like, "Well, what man you trying to make happy if it's not me?" Right? So I'm your man, right? But you worried about what everybody else is telling you to do. So I think that's a big challenge for a lot of women. The beauty industry takes advantage of this all the time. They tell us if we do this, we'll be beautiful, and if we are beautiful, we'll be liked. And so we're always
But
searching for when we're beautiful,
but
not
but
knowing
what you're
we're
saying,
already beautiful.
but what you're saying, it sounds good, except I think there's a deeper thing to this because women tend to ask other women that's going to that's going to give them the answer that they want. If they
Right.
were having an honest poll, that would be a different thing. But most of the times they're trying to say, I like it. Now I'm going to find all the people that
That will
agrees with
say,
my thought
right.
process.
Even in
And
some of those,
then,
I mean, and some of those women are lying to them because they want them to look worse than them. So they're gonna go, yeah, girl, that look good. But in reality, be like, yeah, that look good for you, but I wouldn't wear it. And they'll say, oh, girl, that look good on you. Oh, yeah, I like that. Knowing they sometimes setting you up to look worse because that's better if you look like that when y'all going around people. When the girls get dressed together because they going out. But I don't know if that's childish, but yeah. So like I said, like I said, I don't know if women were interested in the truth, they probably wouldn't have to take a whole poll. Right? They wouldn't take a poll. But we're not interested in the truth. We're often interested in popular opinion. And
but
again,
even that,
that's how you get the idea in the first place. Like I said, but from the AI group that I'm in, and one of them is baddies in AI because I think I'm a baddie and I'm in AI. But the way it works is one person posts a sexy picture of them, and then it's kind of like a challenge, an implied challenge. You go out and get the prompt for the picture, then you go upload it in your AI app, And then you go now, make that me, basically. And then now you post your baddie picture that's in the same genre or style. So if the lead post is like a black and white image of a hot girl in the summer, because I did that one. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna do that one. It's like black and white and the rain falling on and you feeling like you in flash dance. I was like, oh, I have to do this. And as a woman, we all know, women are looking at women far more in the details than men are. I think men not as detailed the way they be like, okay, she look good to me. She look like a woman, or she look pretty or not pretty or whatever, however they judge it. It's a generally quick assessment. But women, we will be looking at the tiniest little things like, mm-hmm. Her lips dry though, but she needs some lip gloss on. The tiniest little thing, we can pick another woman apart. So I think most women, they can see themselves, but they really do want, like I said, affirmation. It doesn't matter if the affirmation is real or honest or not. They just want you to say, "Oh yeah, that looks good."
Well, I hear what, but going back, circling back to the main point of the whole thing is we we need to tighten up on what we call family structure. Because
Mm-hmm.
once we can tighten up on the family structure, these outside influences that actually serves no purpose other than to um, destroy what we're trying to establish. Because when you look at the people who are wealthy, who are living these, they don't have these issues. They don't even have these kind of conversations,
Mm-hmm.
and they keep on living off the fat of the land, mainly us.
Mm-hmm.
And we keep on getting into these situations where we let people outside our community come tell us what's good for it. I'll give you a perfect example that drives me crazy right now. And I finally have gotten over it, but it irked me for a long time. Did you remember when last year people were talking, when the Chinese told everybody how much a Birkin bag really cost?
No, I don't watch the news.
Okay, they came out and basically what they said, our
Five
president put a
dollars,
tariff, huh?
probably $5 worth of material.
Hey, listen, Trump puts a tariff on the Chinese. The Chinese says, well, hey, this is what this bag costs. He says it cost them they something like a couple of dollars to make.
Mm-hmm.
So if you sell it for $5, $10, the Chinese are making big profit. They send the bag to Italy and France and let each of these houses like Louis Vuitton, YSL, Aldi, Birkin, they have their own covers. They
Mm-hmm.
put the covers in the
Okay, so you were joking about my mouth freezing. Your mouth is frozen now. Now you need to get you an Ethernet cable. See? Ha! I'm gonna take a screenshot of your mouth frozen.
you, you see that? Okay. Okay, when we get off this air, I got
See?
some words for you. Don't
That's,
worry.
that's karma. That is karma in its best
No,
form.
that's you playing around.
No,
But
I didn't
anyway,
do it.
they sent the bag to the United States, and then they tell you that the bag costs $10,000, and then you got people that are in the hood broke trying to get a Birkin.
Because they believe is that is worth it, right?
It's worth $10,000,
And then
and everybody else in the world is
what you gonna
laughing.
get when you get the bag? Like that bag. I mean, where did the put the money in the bag? Need the money in the bag, not the
But
bag.
they're taking the, but it goes back to what you say. Women want validation. So if
Right.
I got a Birkin and you don't, you ain't nothing but a brokey baddie. I'm a baddie. Look at me. I got dudes buying me Birkins and yeah,
Right.
all of that. And I was like, what? Are you serious? And okay, so here's where the me getting angry about the whole thing is. So I'm listening to that thing and I was like, okay, black people are gonna get to the point where they're gonna say, you know what? We ain't buying no more of these damn Birkins. That's what we gonna do because we're not gonna be suckered out here.
No, that's not Correct. That's not gonna happen.
You're exactly right, ma'am. You're exactly right. Because they still are buying them bags. I was like, what? You ain't
Suez,
got no money.
right?
Do
Suez
you
said
know women
she
are
remembers.
prostituting themselves for these bags?
Hold on, Suez said she remembers the bags, and she said, I'm not sure. She says we're stuck on the image, quotation marks. We're stuck on the image of being rich and popular. Okay.
Exactly.
And Cutter Man over here
We,
cracking up. Cutter Man is cracking up. Cutter Man, you got where's the Birkin bag? Okay, so send your family, all your women in your family a Birkin bag for Christmas this year. Right? Give them $5
but,
Birkin.
but but the funny thing about it, you got a Birkin at 25, and like you said, you ain't got no money to put in the damn bag.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna turn around and you're gonna prostitute yourself so you can get another one or a YSL or something like that. But then you're gonna tell all your girlfriends, man, they just giving me bags. Look at how I'm living. Really?
Well, you know
I
that was.
don't like that.
Now, I know we doing tapping after dark, but you know there is another really good book that I told you about, and it's called Hoe Tactics. Well, Hoe Tactics
Yes, yes.
starts off like that. You know, there's two friend girls, and it's written by a man, and he's basically saying, okay, you got this one girl who she swears she look good, and she should be getting the bag, but she's angry because her friend appears to be actually getting the stuff. She got the nice car, she's got the nice home,
Mm-hmm.
she got the everything, and so like I said, sometimes that jealousy between females makes us dishonest with each other. But anyway, the one girl goes around talking about her friend is a HOE, and because really she's jealous of the lifestyle that she's seeming to live. Now, the friend is actually living that lifestyle, but the misunderstanding is she's telling and she's believing that her friend is putting out to get this kind of a lifestyle, when in reality the friend is just doing all the things that equals what we call leveling up. She's
Mm-hmm.
putting in the work, not necessarily at work, but in relationships, in her life. She's taking the money that she's receiving and reinvesting it. And it's saying, and she might look like what people call a HOE, but clearly the results is not HOE results, right? So it's a really interesting book for the ladies out there. If y'all be in those discussions about getting the bag and what that means. It's called Hoe Tactics. I forgot the author, but yeah, this is a good after dark subject. Cutter Man said, then she take all the trips. House sway? I don't know what that means. House sway. Is that like some Miami talk? I don't know what that means. She take all
Yeah.
house sway. And then he put shaking my head. I don't know what you talking about, Cutter, but obviously Rich do. Rich said, then turn around, said, get the bag from the Negro. Hey, watch your mouth on my chat now. I'm gonna have to hide your comment. Houseway. Then she turned around, said, get the bag from the Negro. He said, hey, you got all kind of curse words. That done hit a nerve in here, Cutter Man. This tapping at the door, but you watch your mouth. He said, I just listened. I guess he said, I just listened to a woman and said F a Negro, but don't F that Negro. I'm having to put all kind of replacement words because he is emotional right now. So he put start from the first. Okay, I'm supposed to be saying these in order. Let me go back. Okay, he said, I just listened a woman said FAYN, okay, but don't F a Negro, but don't F that Negro. Okay. Basically like screw that person, but don't screw that
Yeah.
person. And then turn
Yeah.
around and said, get the bag from the Negro. How sway? Okay, I guess that means complicated. I'm trying to translate now. It's shaking
No,
my head.
yeah.
So you
Well,
you
you
see
don't know
what a
how
man.
sweet. You
You
don't. You
you
don't
tell me
watch
what
that.
he's
Yeah.
saying. What is he
Yeah.
saying?
Basically, he's just saying get over, without giving nothing up.
Hmm.
Get the cash, but don't give no. Yeah.
Well, I know men feel that way. A lot of men feel that way. But what is she supposed to give up? Is she supposed to give up to get a
But
to be gifted a Birkin
see,
bag? Is it proper for her to give it up?
first of all, you asking me to translate what was said.
No, no,
This
no.
ain't
I'm not.
about feelings.
I'm going on from that. I'm not on what he
Oh,
said.
okay, then yeah. Well, you were doing a train of thought there, and I got to pull you off them tracks right there. But
Okay, he said House Sway come from Kanye West and DJ Sway interview. Okay, so he's
yeah,
saying House Sway.
they had a little confrontation, and houseway became a lexicon that everybody uses, and it's cool, like
Okay,
houseway. How?
okay,
But
okay, okay. I get you. All right. See,
but
I'm
but the whole thing is like you have look, to me this is equivalent to women who go to Dubai to get money. You
you know
go over there.
women that go to Dubai to get money. I mean, I think people do, but I don't know nobody that does.
I
It's
don't know anybody who does. It's just been reported all year last year people were doing that.
okay. And they going to Dubai and they
So
sleeping with people, or they just dating and they thinking they gonna come up on a millionaire or something. Is that the train of thought?
the train of thought is that we're gonna go over there, we're gonna do what we gotta do to get some money and come back because we're gonna come back with a grip. That's
Mm.
the
Like Vegas. What
premise.
happens? They could stay in Vegas.
Yeah, that's the premise. But then the reports are when women come back that sometimes they get with these guys over there because remember their rules are different. They see women as different beings. They hold your passport and make you do things that you may or may not want to do. Then they give you your passport and tell you get the hell up out of our country. So
Okay.
now we have somebody who already was thinking about trying to get over on somebody and they were doing it here, but they weren't getting the money that these people are claiming that they're getting over there. So they're like, instead of getting a little 10,000 here, they going over there thinking they're going to get 50 or 100,000. They get over there, they get humiliated, possibly
Oh, I heard
humiliated,
about some of the humiliation stuff.
and then they come back here and now they acting like there's something special because they got money, but mentally you still got to go home thinking about how did you get this money
Right.
because
How
it
you
don't never leave your
compromise
mind.
your humanity. So
Yeah.
Cutter said, I don't know where this going. I'm gonna read them in order. He said, fashion, sweetie, do it, Sukiana.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
Is this
It's
like
intense now.
Suzanne said, Dubai, rich in these streets. He know all the tea. He breaking it down, right? He's like, okay, well, I must be green. I mean, I thought I knew a lot, but I really just kind of broke away from popular culture. But yeah, Rich, you sound like you in these streets. What's happening now? You know the whole
Listen,
game.
listen. I hear things. I hear things. I
Mm,
hear people trying to do things. Just like when you hear, listen, how is it that we got all these women going on all these cruises all the time? Not one cruise. I know some women, they take 4 cruises a year. How you
okay.
doing that? How? How you doing that? You doing 4 cruises. And then they got the nurse to be sneaking in alcohol in their breath.
Oh wait, when I did go on this past cruise, I was on cruise for work. Okay, I was there for work, but the lady said,
I'm sorry, ain't nobody said you. I'm sorry.
no, but this lady said she smuggled 3 bottles of alcohol on her body. I'm trying to
That's crazy. That's crazy.
and she said,
Crazy.
I'm like, okay. But yeah, I don't know. Cutter said he sent me the videos. I got to check to see what videos he sent so I can understand. I'm trying to understand. He said, Rich, you smart. You smart. That's how
Oh,
you
you're gonna get an eyeful. It's gonna be an eyeful.
I guess I'm
I,
afraid to get my street knowledge up. Probably once upon a time I knew stuff that was going on, and I just deliberately remove myself from, because that thinking it get heavy on you after a while, and then too some people get caught up in the street and then you can't save them, right? And it's real disheartening, especially when you have a friend. And I will not say street. I know they got a new term, outside. The all outside people, right? This outside behavior that goes against, like you say, goes against family structure. Outside behavior. You want to be in a family? Like I said, that means showing up every day consistently. That's how you build a legacy. I believe that. So I was like, when I realized that's what I wanted in my life, I was like, let me reel in some of this, because really back in the days, I ain't gonna name my co conspirators, but we went out 7 days a week. Like, I wasn't in the cruises, so maybe that wasn't a thing, but it was a 7 day a week. A lot of it was for work, but because we worked in entertainment, we were always around everything and everybody, and that's just not conducive for long. And that's Cutter Man. I was just telling Cutter Man that this week. Like I said, imagine you work in a nightclub, and so does your significant other. I don't care what kind of club it is. That's a little bit of that's meant you too many people are around you to really protect the sanctity of y'all relationship, to protect y'all intimacy, to protect your communication. It's too many other people. So just like I was with Cliff before, I ain't gonna name, back in the day. And that was probably one of my more public relationships. Everybody knew about it. So when we broke up, I didn't want everybody to know, because I was trying to save face for it. I didn't want to answer all the what happened questions. But it was just way too many people. And like I said, and again, this person said, well, if I was you, I'll try to work it out. Or if I was you, and people, it's easy for people to say, if I was you, I was you, I was you, but boy, you ain't me. But that's what happens, in my opinion, when you have these very public relationships, and that's why, like, people that post their relationships online. In my opinion, that's a no no. But what you think about that? Let me tell you the questions before I talk, though, because I've been running my mouth. Cutterman says, but when ladies broke, they say the men broke. That's true. That's true.
that's true.
And
That's true for real.
then Cutter said, when ladies gone mad up and say they broke, oh, man up and admit they broke. I agree. Because only broke females around here calling men broke. Right? Because women who got
Yeah.
money don't have no time to, they know if you broke, right? But it's not as much of an issue. But you being broke is an issue for a broke female, because she's hoping for somebody to come save her from
Who wants
herself.
to come up?
Right.
She needs to come up off you. Yeah.
So, you and they call you broke. If you broke, you can say, well, that make two of us. But the difference between me and you is I know how to get my own. So leave it at that. But Cutter
And
said,
that's what makes them mad. That's what makes women mad because they know the man can always make a come up. He can go
right,
get a construction job and make some money,
right,
but you can't.
right. You can't, because so sometimes you're just lazy. And like I said, this whole coming up off other people just it just correlate with and also not appreciating what gifts God gave you. Cutter said, men are the only ones who will take a broke woman and make her rich. Well,
Exactly.
I've seen some women take a man and put him in positions where he can make money. But
Well,
yes,
the
it's
term only, you can't use only. You can't use only because women have done it. But for the most part, more men will do that than women will.
it says, I guess he's saying no women will take a broke man while she's rich. I don't agree with that either. I've seen women, many women will deal with a broke man while he's rich, as long as he got no broke woman won't deal with a woman who came from maybe that level of poverty and got money. She won't, because she's angry that she had to do it herself. But other women
Yeah.
who have gotten it, that kind of woman is going to be resentful. It's just like a man who was ugly, and the pretty girls or some girls didn't like him, and now he got money, and now he get salty and be mean because he's used to women mistreating him. But now he got the money, so now he mistreat them in return.
So
So,
now I'm going to put some salt in the game. Now I'm going to put some salt in the game
mhm,
because a woman who was broke and got it, she's going to get a man who thinks she thinks that can either represent her well or help her make more money. Where a man who got it, he's not looking for the woman to necessarily make more money for him. He's looking for more of her obedience to him,
mhm.
and that's the difference.
I'm gonna say Cutter said name one. I don't know if he want me to name one so he can go find them, but I'll say this: like I mean, I guess we only talking about celebrities, but and I'm not in Miami. I don't know the dynamics, but I see like Trina, she has a lot more notoriety than the man that they name as her husband right now. That don't necessarily mean it's money. I don't know, but I feel like
Yeah,
I don't think that she's with him for his money. It doesn't appear to be that way. I don't know them. So all I'm saying is whether it be man or woman, because where we started this off is this is not to pit men against women, but to just look at the reality and the similarities that both, in my opinion, that both sexes have, which is there's been times when I've had money or you have money, and sometimes you be like, I don't care if the other person has money per se. I care if we have a connection and they treat me as if they care. So when a person sincerely has it and they don't have all those other hangups, I believe that they're capable to have relationships despite somebody's dollar sign. But like we started off saying, these conversations get so mundane because it's always about, well, see, woman ain't gonna do this and a man ain't gonna do that, and it's these generalizations that are damaging because now we're not talking about our own personal, we're talking about what we see or going on in the outside world. So right, I'm not saying he said Trina ain't rich. I'm not saying that Trina's rich. Like I said, I don't know how much money anybody else got, and I really don't know what's going on in other people's relationships. Um, Sue Ann said Rihanna is a billionaire and ASAP Rocky is not on her level, not on that level. Um, so he says there's a difference between stability and being rich. But we already know what being rich is because he right here. So Rich, what do you think about all this?
I when you say mundane, I hear women say that a lot now, and it always happens when the pendulum starts to swing the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we first started this in the 70s and women were saying they could do bad by themselves and they were talking scrubs and all that, it was all good. It was laughing, kiki. Yeah, we're coming up. We don't need you. We're going to school. We're doing. But now that the school loans are catching up, now that people are getting fired and losing their jobs, 300 jobs or 300,000 jobs are being lost, things like that are happening. Now it becomes more pressure on women to say, yeah, I got to do something because if I don't do something real quick, I'm going to be out here in these streets. And when you start seeing things like that, which I've lived through that in the 60s when I saw women were actually on the side of the road begging for money, you realize that we're in a hard situation and it's going to get worse. So when I look at this kind of situation, I say to myself, the only way we're going to get this right is if we rebuild our families. And if we take our family more serious than we take care of what other people are telling us our family should look like. We have a game plan. We know what it looks like when we've been successful. We know what we do well. But this thing that we're doing now, it's not gonna last for long. And that's what AI is going to accelerate because you're gonna have a lot of people that's gonna have a lot of money because of AI, and then you're gonna have a lot of people that's gonna be broke. And it's gonna be dangerous out here. That's what I say.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I agree with that 100%. But it was just from a different angle that like I said, the trends of, like it's like the passport bros, the trends of what women and men do, they are all relevant. What I want us to be careful to do is not get caught up in like kind of like the agreements. That can be other people's reality. I don't want that to be my reality, right? So I kind of stay out of those conversations because I feel like we spending a lot of time debating men and women, and we should be spending time working on improving our relationships and improving our communication. And I know that sounds, goody goody, but I don't know else how else we come out of the anger that exists. It's clear in the
We got to have
emotion.
real conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to have real conversation. Like, we don't have real conversation as a group of people, because the problem, and this is driving me crazy. First of all, the reason why there's passport bros is because most of those guys ain't getting no, they're not having sex here. They can't get no women here. So they go someplace where it's easier for them to get women.
They could get
And
sex
they
here.
tell you,
They could get
huh?
sex here. You get sex here. They want a certain kind of woman, a certain look of a woman, and they want to have the experience of feeling like the person they getting sex from really likes them, right?
Nikki,
uh-huh.
Nikki, I'm telling you that there are some men, these passport bros, because I've listened to them on their podcast. When
Mm-hmm.
you hear them talk, as a man, I can tell you they can't get none. Not in America. Not the way they doing it. But when they go overseas, their game and their money gives them access.
Well, so what I'm
Where
saying is
here,
right. That's what I'm saying. Where they're doing pay for play, right? And they could pay for play in the U.S., but the price in the U.S. they're out. They don't want to spend that level of money. So they're bargain hunting and they're trying to get the best cluck for their buck. So they get a
yeah,
better deal. They get a better package deal when they go abroad.
yeah, but you're limiting it. You're limiting to what I'm saying. You're only giving one half. I'm also saying, listen, we're from Miami. Brothers
Mhm.
here can talk up on some coochie.
Right.
For a broke brother here in Miami, if he's lived in Miami all his life, he can talk up on some coochie any place in the United States of America. I know, I was in the military, and I can tell you all the brothers I know from Florida can talk up on some coochie. But there are some guys in other places, they can't talk up. They don't have it. Whatever it is that makes a woman want to give a guy that, those
But this is
guys
what I'm
don't
saying.
have it.
When you doing pay for play, talking's not important anyway, right? And so the passport bros not over there talking up on it. They still paying for it. So the only difference is paying here or paying elsewhere is the price.
But they're thinking that they're talking up on it. That's the point I'm trying to make.
And
And
that's
that's
what
why
I
they
was
get
saying.
frustrated when
That's
they
why I said more cluck for your buck. It's the fantasy of they talking up on it because we know they not
correct.
talking up on it. We know that those same women report back that this guy is a lame and we just taking his money. But even though
Right.
they treat the gentleman with much regard and adoration. So look, you guys Sue Ann and Cut over here going back and forth about ASAP Rocky and in the chat. See, I mean, this thing really be hitting people's hitting nerves. Um, and
Well, well, I'm going to hit the nerves right here because I can tell you what the answer is, but nobody ever likes to hear the answer when I say it.
here we go.
For us to heal, for us to, oh, I'm going to drop it's a nuclear bomb right now. And
Okay.
I'm not going to stay on this phone with y'all after this because I got other things I got to do.
Oh, you
But
gonna drop the
what
bomb
we
and
need,
run? Okay, go ahead.
exactly, that's exactly what I'm going to do. The only way that this is going to work out for us, and I've said a couple of times, it's got to be a family and all that. But the truth of the matter is, black men are going to wait to hear women apologize to black men for betraying them in the 70s by listening to two things: the government and white women. That's what black men are going to wait. And when black women, if they can, I don't know if they can, but if they're willing to apologize by saying, we listened to people that didn't mean our family well, and we betrayed you, and we went with their concept, and we decided to separate from you because we wanted to be independent and we wanted to run the money and we didn't want you to control us, which was the most stupidest thing on the planet because slaves coming out of slavery don't control nothing. But they told us that we should have been running things. Meanwhile, those women were going back to their husbands while you were giving up your husbands. And that is what we're waiting for, an apology so that we can start healing. But is that going to happen? I don't
Well,
know. Is it going
okay,
to happen in my lifetime? I
well,
don't know.
I'm gonna apologize. I can't apologize as a black woman, but I could apologize as Nikki and just say from my perspective that like I said, as women, we are taught to appease and to please and to adhere to. And unfortunately, in this country, we are, like you said, domesticated by certain groups of people, and we try to fit in, right? We go make our hair look like them, our skin look like them, our house
Mm-hmm.
look like them.
Mm-hmm.
But I must say, my only caveat is it's not just women of color, it's also men of color. So I believe the apologies go both ways, because I think, like you said, maybe back to the 60s and 70s, when women of color saw that their men were aspiring and seeing the best of American life looking like the light skins or the white woman and not them. And then they thought, well, I can do that. I can act like her. I can look like her. And so unfortunately, many Americans, now I know your family and my family have different roots. But in this American culture, when you look at Ebony magazines, Essence magazines, um, we were all in a certain ways aspiring to a Eurocentric American identity. And as a result, we have negated and disregarded our own family structure, trying to get what the Joneses have. And I don't think it's only the black women. So I believe that not necessarily apology, but that realization needs to happen on both parts. We can point the finger, Cudderman said government. We can point the finger at government. We can point the finger at white women. We can point the finger, like Dave Chappelle, at white men and gay white men. We can point the finger at each other. But until we take some accountability and saying, I might have it personally played a role in that, is when I think, and like, and we can say, yes, I apologize too for my own aspirations, my own beliefs that were never designed for me, or for agreeing with what wasn't good for me and my family. But I believe we all need to do that.
I hear what you're saying, and I appreciate the apology and everything. But the problem with the apology is whenever you go, you're trying to apologize for something that you did, and then you point out the other person's flaw. Everybody has to apologize for themselves. And when you start talking about men who were in that same situation, acting in that behavior, especially you're talking about after the 70s, because that's when we really got to the point where women were basically not adhering to the family standards. The men that we have today that women are complaining about, they don't want to accept the fact that those men were raised by them, that they basically were the head of the household. They're the ones that separated from the household. And then they complain about the thing that they created. That's why this is a huge conversation. I don't know, we don't have the time to talk about it tonight. It's a huge conversation because if you only go back and say, well, this is what happened, and nobody looks from the beginning all the way to the result that we have now, these overly emotional men, they're a process of women raising these boys and no man in the household. And then you say to yourself, well, I don't want this passport is broke. I bet you most of them don't have fathers. And
Mhm.
they're behaving like their mothers. And so you basically have a guy that's really with a lot of feminine energy and emotion, and he's behaving in the way you don't like. And then you women are pointing at him and saying, well, look at these guys. This is why we're having a problem is these guys. And we're saying to you, y'all raised them because the men that we raised aren't like that. So you need to take all of that and say, we apologize for not only leaving you, black man, we apologize for thinking that we could raise these boys, because I remember when women used to say, "Oh, I'm going to raise my children by myself. I don't need no man." And right then, I was about 10 years old when I remember I heard that for the first time, and I knew we were in trouble. Because once a woman said that, this is the product they have, and a woman can't raise a man. She can give birth to a man, but she can't raise one.
See,
And this
this
is
what
the
happened.
result we're dealing with now.
This is the result when we have tapping after dark. Y'all, we gonna get the whole show cut off. But Cutter Man said government kicked us out the house and gave them power. He said government kicked the men out the house and gave them power with SNAP and child SSI and child support. They made gay men
Okay.
being cool. Women follow 90% of gay men and 3% of straight men. Women look up to
Mm.
the gay community and smile at what they do, but down the man for what they do. And how women got have gay men for best friends. He's shaking his head. Um, I want to make sure we make it clear. Not, I don't advocate attacking people's sexuality at all, and I don't think that's what Cut is doing either. But I can see what he's saying. There's an irony in the disconnect of the relationship. So, how can we have relationships if more value is put on a man that clearly is not interested in a relationship with you? If that's your best friend, your homie, your mentor, and someone who's teaching you how to have relationships with men, and it's not a woman. It happens to be not a woman. That is interesting. An interesting point when you thinking on that.
Oh, you asking me?
Yeah, or let me tell you what Sue Ann said. She said it's a lot of factors, both men and women. And but the men should have made the effort to be present. So I think she's saying kind of what I'm saying. What about the dual responsibility, accountability on you know,
But
because
I tried to
people
explain it.
continually point fingers, and just like when two people, if I say to you, I feel you owe me an apology. What's the other person is going to do? First thing they're going to say, I feel like you owe me an apology. And if both people don't agree and do that, now you kind of at a stalemate.
But here's the point. This is where it gets. This is the feelings versus logic conversation. This is a question of time, the timeline. If you did something from the 70s up to now, and now we're pointing out to all the stuff you did, and now you're telling us, well, you're not doing your part now. Well, the whole thing that the person who's the integral part is where it got started from all the way to now. You got to take care of all of that before we sit down and even talk about today. But you don't want to hear that because women always say, well, what about the man's part? What about what's happened? You're talking about now. I'm asking you from the 70s to now, here's why we are at the point we are now. So we need to take care of all. To me, it's just like the reparations argument. You did all this stuff in the past. You don't want to pay for the reparations, but you are still profiting from the reparations today. And you want to talk about
Who's
today.
gonna say I'm sorry? So that's what I'm saying. Is that a realistic expectation? Who's gonna say I'm sorry? All the women? When how do they do it? Do they write a letter? Do they start a TV show? Say it's my turn to say I'm sorry. So is it how realistic is it that? And I believe, like I said, individually there are people who one don't even deal in these kind of affairs,
That's
right?
true. That's
And
true.
then two, some people like, so how can I be sorry for something I didn't even participate in, right? So
But you have
and if this
you.
required to understand, what if the person is born in the 80s? How can they be responsible for what's happened or started in the 70s that might have been an overflow from some attitudes and trends from the 60s?
There's the answer right there. Now you have to ask yourself, as the person in the 80s, do I have the characteristics, attitudes, and behavior that are not conducive to being in a family structure? And your behavior will tell you because of the way you talk to men, the way you think about men, the way you act towards men. Everything about you will be tainted from whoever raised you. And you got to ask yourself, was your mama successful? No. Was your grandma successful in relationship? No. Was your great grandmama? No. All the women in
So
your family
why
have
would a
had.
man even deal with a woman if he already identifies that she's that kind of tainted? So if she's already
Well, you
there,
don't know that in the beginning. You don't know that in the beginning. And you have to also ask yourself, can a woman go through this and say to themselves, you know what? I look back at my lineage of all the women that's been in my family, and we ain't got no successful. I'm going to change this. I'm
well,
going to
like I
be
said, like
different.
in
I'm
other
going.
countries where they have arranged marriages, the first thing they do is check out the family. Not go to dinner, not go to date, not have sex. First thing they do is check on, let me see what the family looking like.
I'm with that. I'm with that. 100%. I
Otherwise,
believe
you
that
drive
the
around here
fathers.
making babies and then babies and all kind of stuff, and then after the fact, you go, "Oh, that person crazy." Well, y'all wasn't checking to see if she was crazy before y'all was making all them babies, baby making activities.
But once again, I agree with that concept, but that's not what's going to save what we're trying to do
But
because they're not taking the coochie away. The woman is giving it away. And more importantly, she's following the examples that she's had before her.
And that's why y'all men be disgruntled. Now, this is opinion, not y'all. I'm saying some men end up angry because they fell for the free coochie trap, right? So they
Okay,
jumped in
yeah.
and they got in the free coochie trap and they go, well, boy, she crazy, she dangerous, all kind of stuff. She toxic. Yeah, well, why you jumped in the free coochie trap? Keep your
See,
dingling to
but
yourself, and then you won't have to have these issues with women. But look, I wanted to just tell you, they go away in another conversation in the chat. Yeah, ooh, they going somewhere. So Cutter's talking about Oprah and Oprah man and Queen Latifah, right? So he said women in power
oh,
don't.
wow.
He said, wait now, women in power don't want a man, right?
That's
So
right.
then he said that's some slavery. Then he talking about slavery connection to Jim Crow, connection to kind of Willie Lynch behavior, right? And then so Sawyer said Oprah has Stedman and Queen Latifah is the man in her relationship. And Cutter Man said, the child don't know if only see what they see with their eyes. That's why the kids grow up with trans. Okay, why trap us in the first place? Um, Men need to make families, not babies, not the free coochie trap. Exactly. No more free coochie trap and no more free ding jingle traps either. Like just hold it,
I
right?
don't know. I don't know. A woman can run a lot faster with her dress up than a man can with his pants down.
Thing. I don't know where this joking is going. Now y'all gonna get us cut off of tapping after dark. But I think we got something good, but we may have to do a. I don't know if you can do a private. I don't know how to do a private and then edit the lives. But
Listen,
y'all
I
can.
don't play with y'all enough. I gotta go. I play with y'all enough. This is ridiculous.
It's just ridiculous. Well, I think it's provoking. Maybe so we should pick it up. Maybe we can maybe do another night of the week. Because saying the women the ones setting the trap. I mean I think like I said we stuck in a society where you know so people want power, we want attention, we want intimacy. We just going about it I think wrong. We on the wrong track. So I think again we all got to take some personal accountability. But look, I got my camera right,
Yeah,
Rich.
now
I'm not
women.
free no more. I got
It,
my Ethernet cable. Who you can't touch me now?
all it's always our. We always gotta have our own responsibility when the conversation comes, but nobody wants to say it was me. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Way to
Color say,
go, Cutter. Way to go, Suzanne. Suzanne, way to go. I like it. I like the banter. We're gonna talk
yeah,
about this some more later.
yeah, we were doing a little test tonight, so thank y'all for jumping in with us, tapping in, and
Yeah, appreciate it.
could have said you his homie, but he said it with a different set of words. Thank you, thank you, Cutter, for hanging out with us. And don't forget, Cutter is on most mornings. I know it's 11 o'clock, around 11 o'clock Eastern time. So he's been doing. He's really brilliant DJ. So Suwan, if you around and you see Cutter Man live, tap into him. He was helping. He was playing some Prince for the day while I was on there. I appreciate that, Cutter. I always appreciate a little bit of Prince in my life. You know what I'm saying? Back to when people used to love each other. Love. All right. We got the chapter got to start with. You did that. You did that. You did a whole hour. All right.
One
Good
time for
night.
Little Red Corvette.
Good night, y'all. All right. Talk to y'all later. Let us know what you think. If you want to do more relationship talk, put it in the chat. Where y'all think we should go with this? Talk to y'all later. Have a good weekend. Martin Luther King birthday Monday. Y'all be safe and have fun and honor the man. I see you. I cut you off.
I hear you. You know that, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. My bad.